Yesterday, I watched a show called The Cape, which premiered Sunday, January 9th on NBC, and I just wanted to give my thoughts, throw in my 2 cents about what I thought about the show, because something to do. Um, it's a show about a cop, a good cop, who is in a city with a lot of corrupt cops and having a real hard time with that. And he has a loving wife and a son whom he loves very much and he's real close to. And a CEO of a company, a large growing company called Ark, shows up in the city that he lives in and masquerades as a supervillain with that goes by the name of Chess, and the the cop, the Vince Faraday is the name of the main star, and he ends up being caught by this supervillain, and he's framed for being Chess, and he's captured on live TV in a manhunt, chased down, and supposedly killed on TV, and his wife and son see it, and so everyone, including his family, thinks that he's dead, and he ends up with a bunch of circus people, living with circus people who have all kinds of different kind of talents and whatnot. That whole situation, he decides to become his son's favorite comic book superhero, known as the Cape. And he, through a friend that he makes, the leader, Max is his name, the leader of the group of circus people, he's given a cape. Basically is a cloth material that's incredible, that seems to have all kinds of really weird magical abilities, and he uses that and wears it and becomes a superhero. And he's out for revenge, to kill, to save his name, because to save his reputation, to bring down Chess, or as he's otherwise known as the CEO, Peter Fleming. And he's trying to take Peter Fleming down before he tells his family, that he's alive, or tells anyone that he's alive. So he ends up teaming up with a character called Orwell, who's actually just a woman that is, no one knows anything about her, and she's a typical, like, eyes only character who seems to see all and know a bunch of stuff, and has all kinds of high tech gadgets, and is very well equipped and in the game, the underground type of character. And they become friends very quickly, and I really found the show intriguing. I thought it was a very interesting show. I think it has a lot of potential. I mean, you can only do so much with the first couple episodes of a show, right? All I can go on for reviews so far is, the only review I was able to find on it is IGN.com's review for The Cape. But I'm sure their review, that every review after it's going to be just like their review. They hate it. They gave it a 3 out of 10. They said all kinds of bad things about it. They said it was way too fast paced. It had no substance. It had no depth. Seriously? Okay, let's start with the fast paced thing. Okay. seriously, other shows like Human Target or Fringe or all kinds of other shows out there that, have so much action. They can be so fast paced as well. But people don't. People seem to like it then. I'm not a fan of how hypocritical people are. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. How hypocritical people are. They like fast paced sometimes, but then they just decide when they don't. You know why people aren't gonna like The Cape and it's not gonna last very long? I'd be surprised if this show lasts beyond one season or makes it to a full season. Well, as I'm surprised if it won't be canceled right away because, frankly, it's about a man who dresses up in a cape and a mask and saves the day, and it's corny, it's cheesy as all hell, and people don't like that. And that's just a shame, it really is, because I thought it was incredibly refreshing from all the other shit that we have on TV. People aren't open-minded enough just to give a show a chance and let it take off. And yeah, it doesn't have a lot of depth yet, but it does have potential for a lot of depth. And in 2 episodes, how much depth can they really shove into those episodes? With all the other things that they gotta get out of the way, right? So I think people should give it more of a chance, and I know they will. And it's a shame. Again, said that before, say it again. Big shame. But, yeah, like I was saying, I thought it was a refreshing change of pace from the majority of cop dramas and reality shows on television today. And it's done like a comic book. The entire show is done like a comic book. And that is very creative, the way they do it, because it's called The Cape, and it's about a guy masquerading as his son's favorite comic book superhero. And so that's what it is. The whole show is comic book. And it should be. And it's portrayed that way. Full of comic book villains. The CEO man is, and masquerading his chest with a mask on. He's even got contact lenses. Well, supposedly they're contact lenses, so his eyes look inhuman. That kind of stuff. That's just classic cliche comic book villain, and it's great. How many things today do we have like that? Hardly anything, because people don't like that stuff. They want Smallville. I love Smallville, by the way. Don't get me wrong, my favorite show on television. But that's what people want. They just want stuff like Smallville that, humanizes their superheroes and brings their superheroes down to earth and makes them realistic. And Ordinary Family, another great show that started this year. And people somewhat like Ordinary Family thus far, because it's people with superpowers, but they don't have costumes or anything, and they live in the real world, and that's what people love. That's what people want to see. I am not a big fan of that. And while I am a big fan of that stuff, I'm not a big fan of the fact that people can't look beyond that, can't accept something that's not like that anymore. Everything's got to be the same now, and it's sad. It sucks. But I really like it. I really like how comic booky it is, because it's meant to be. The fast-paced factor, in my opinion, that just adds to the comic book realm that this show exists in. Or the comic book feel that this show's meant to give. And the pace will slow down as it goes on. Again, first 2 episodes of the show, they had to get through a lot starting up the show and everything, and they decided just to go with it, fast paced like that, and I like that. Thought it was very, very unique, very different, very cool. So I would love to hear a comment, as if I'm anybody and anybody will ever watch this anyway, and especially go through the 10 minutes that I've been talking now. to hear this part, but if by some odd chance somebody's that bored that they do watch and listen to my horrible voice, then I would love if you've seen the show by any chance, like it even a little bit by any chance. I would love to hear others out there who like the show and what they think of it, instead of just hearing a bunch of cynical BS from a bunch of people who can't seem to look beyond their own nose. So, hey, let me know if you're out there, people who actually have an open mind and can like the show for what it is rather than what it should be.